Today, we are going over a few tweaks so you can get more out of your quad training. If you look at a squat, you will quickly see that if you lack mobility or you have anatomical differences, you're not going to go to the bottom, you're not going to reach that. And because of that, you're not going to use your quads as much as if you want. If that happens, you can just throw a wedge under your heel. And if you don't have that, because I know that some of you will say that, oh, my gym doesn't have that, then grab two of these small plates because you can just put them on top of each other and you can even change the incline with that. So if you look at the setup, just by adding the plates, I can go all the way down, covering my calves with my hamstring. And with that increased knee flexion, you are going to get more quads out of your squat. The squat is not my favorite option, but if you don't have anything else, you don't have a hack squat in your gym, then it is going to do it. All of these mistakes, you can apply them to every exercise you do, almost every one of them, and then you are going to see quick results. ATG split squats, again the same thing. If you don't have the mobility or you don't even have to force yourself into that mobility, you can grab two plates and put them on top of each other. You can change the incline with that. But again, you don't have to use two of them, but it is just more comfortable to put your heel on. This is going to be the same concept. You have to go all the way down, pushing your knee forward till you are going to reach the point where your hamstrings are covering your calves, and from here push it all the way up. Another thing is you want to keep your back leg as straight as possible, otherwise you can't go all the way down. If you bend your back leg and touch it to the floor, you're not going to get as much range of motion as if you were to keep it straight and go all the way down like that. And I know some of you will say that you don't have the mobility, you don't have the flexibility to do that even with your back leg, which is fine because over time, just by keep doing it, you're going to get a better stretch tolerance and you're going to get there. But before that, you probably have to do around 1,000 reps or so. Also, this is an exercise where I don't recommend you to do anything above 10 reps. Even when you are holding the weights to the side, that's going to fatigue you. So if you just stay in between the 5 to 9 rep ranges, you're going to be fine. And when you finish with both of your legs, just make sure to rest enough. It can be anything in between 3 to 5 minutes. Sissy squats are again an exercise what none of you are doing because someone told you that it's dangerous for your knee. But it is not. In fact, this is probably the only way to train your rack fam, and that's the longest head of your quad. About the form, you can hold on to something till you get the balance right, but you want to keep your hips straight and go all the way down till your hamstrings are covering your calves. Especially when you're coming up, you want to maintain that hip position. You don't want to bend it before you come up, but keep it straight and only use your quads. You can start with body weight and with assistance, and over time you can just let the assistance go. You can also use some weight. And since you are going to start with body weight, we don't care about the reps. You can do anything in between 5 to 10. But there is a chance that if you did any exercise before this, you're not going to get to 10. Leg press is the same concept. It's not about going in and out, wide or narrow with your stance. It's more about the amount of knee flexion you get. For that to happen, you probably have to place your feet lower down the platform. So if you come here, some of you don't have the mobility to go all the way down at your ankle, and some of the machines and designs, they don't let you do that, and this happens, your knee is coming up. That's not going to be dangerous, but it's going to make it unstable for you, and if something is unstable, it doesn't allow your muscle to have as much force output as if you were to do it with a stable position. If that happens, you can place your feet a bit higher up just so you can get more knee flexion. And about the form, all you want to focus on is keeping your lower back on the padding and going as low as possible, and then pushing it all the way up. Then again, you don't have to do any partial reps, and what I usually say is that some of you are ego lifting, putting so much weight on the machine, you can't go all the way down, you have to stop here. But if you are training your quads only care about the depth and the range of motion rather than the weight. And the last one is leg extension. And some of you are avoiding this machine because a so-called person called it dangerous and useless for your legs. But in fact, this is one of the best things you can do because it's not fatiguing you as much. You're not training your quads with any exercises in the shortened position or when it is contracted. And it is completely safe as long as you're not rotating your leg in and out, because someone told you that that's the only way to bias your outer quad or the lateral side. Actually, you can probably bias them a bit, but that's not the way. In fact, it's about depth and where the exercise is the hardest. The only mistake I see here is trying to set the weight low and doing high reps. You are probably going to give up the exercise because it's burning so much rather than because your muscles can't do it anymore. Instead, focus on doing it in the 5 to 9 rep ranges, set the weight high, and it's more likely that your quads are going to fail the exercise than you. These are pretty simple concepts. For every exercise you do, you want to get the biggest range of motion possible. If you don't have the mobility, just use some plates or a wedge in your gym. And if you learn something, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. For coaching, hit the link in the description. Talk to you soon.